Thanks for tuning into the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about dealers and how they're having a hard time selling these overpriced trucks. Now, a lot of you may be watching this because you are in the market to get a car. And the reality is it a good time to buy a car or not, right? I'm not going to lie. Trucks are expensive. I do believe that they're overpriced. But if you are someone that needs to get a car now, because let's face it, there's some of us that right now your car got wrecked. There's a reason that you have to get a car right now and you really can't wait. And you might be wondering, is this the worst time to buy a car or is this a better time to buy the car? It's a better time. Trucks have come down in prices. Now, I know some of you are going to watch this video. I'm going to get comments down below saying, no, I don't agree with you. And that's okay. Some people are going to agree. Some people are going to disagree. And everyone that's watching this video is going to be in their own situation. We're not all in the same situation. So let's get into it. But before we do, I'm going to ask for a big favor. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And leave your comments down below. It's okay if you disagree with me. You know, I want to know your opinion. I want to know your outlook, right? I could be right. You could be right. Or I could be wrong. Whatever. You know, it's just my opinion. But I am a car person. I've been looking at cars since a teenager. I go on Auto Trader. I go to dealerships. Now that I'm older, I do Toro. So I'm always constantly at the dealerships. And not too long ago, when we were in the pandemic, things got crazy at dealerships. They really did. And some of you might have not gone to a car dealership, but if you passed by one, you probably saw low inventory. And what happened during COVID, which a lot of you already know, we had an issue with inventory, right? Demand was high, inventory was low. So what happened was car dealerships starting to actually do markups. So before, a lot of us would be used to paying less than MSRP. You go to a car, you see the window sticker, and you're like, I'm not going to pay the window sticker. I want a discount. And that would be the norm, at least for me. I'm always been someone that would negotiate. I'm not going to pay sticker. That's unheard of. Well, dealerships, when COVID came, they were doing markups. They were marking up the car 5, 10,000, some even more, depending on the vehicle. And people were buying them. They were buying them. They were paying more than sticker. There came a moment where they said, if you can get it for sticker, it was a good deal, which I thought I would never hear in my life. That was definitely new. But people were buying them. They were low in inventory. There was a high demand, and people were just buying them. And I remember going to car dealerships, and I really did not like the markups, and I thought that was wrong. And I thought it was just something dealerships were doing to profit more. I know there was issues and things like that, but they were just really milking this. And then eventually, you know, the pandemic went away, and slowly then to make up, because before it was just, hey, we don't have cars, you got to pay up this markup, and they weren't giving you anything. Then we slowly got out of that, and then what they got into is, well, now we put window tint and a paint protection and these clear things and nitrogen on the tires, so that's why you're paying $2,000 over MSRP. Before, you know, it was just because we had no cars. Now we're still trying to do it, but we added these things that cost them, you know, a couple $100 probably, and now they're marking them up 2-3 times what it costs them. I get it, to make a profit, but you know, they're marking it up so high that's insane, and they're not even selling it to you. You'd be forced to say, well, we already did it to the car, so we can't take it off. What? No one asked me if I wanted that in the car, and you know, you may disagree with me, but I don't see any real benefit to paying that much more for the things that you did to the car. So if you ask me, I don't want you to do anything to the car, right? So they started doing that. And now finally, we're getting away from that. Now, if you're a truck person, trucks are really starting to do discounts. Now, I've gone in comments, well, someone will say, well, the new redesign, the new 2025, they're going to raise the MSRP. That's nothing new, okay? Anytime a car company would do a redesign on a car, right, those cars, they would do less incentives, and they do usually increase the MSRP on redesigned vehicles. You're just going to pay more. That's why, you know, with time, things go up in price. So if you want to get the 2025 redesign, best of everything, you got to pay for that. And I do have friends and coworkers, they'll tell me, man, cars are really expensive. But when I talk to them, they tell me I must have a sunroof. It must be 4-wheel drive. It must have... Guys and girls, if you're going to go buy a car and those are things you want, that's okay. I'm not saying don't get a sunroof. I'm not saying don't get a 4x4. I'm not saying don't get those features. You know, if you can get the platinum, if you can get the high country or limited, go ahead and get it. But just know you're going to pay a lot of money. You're getting every bell and whistle. So those cars are obviously going to be more money. But the good thing is, no matter if you want to get the limited, no matter if you want to get, the base model, the middle trim, whatever trim, they're coming down. And that was not going on. The car companies now, they're doing big incentives, especially on trucks right now. And I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to go on a Ford website so you can see it. You can go wherever you live. You may live in Orlando, you may live in Tampa, you may live in New York, you may live wherever you live. Look at the dealerships in the area, dealerships that you're familiar with that you go to, go on their website and click on specials. And most cars are going to have incentives because dealerships, and that's sounding like before, right now the economy is slowed down. Now I get it. Some people are like, who's going to buy a car right now? You're probably going to lose your job next month. Not everyone is in that situation. Some people have jobs that even if the economy slows down, even if we get into a recession, they're going to keep their jobs, right? Some of us are not, are fearful because, hey, the economy's slowing down. That's scary. We may lose our jobs. But some of us are not in that situation and we got to get a car now. Some of us can hold off. Some of us are going to say, cars are too expensive. I'm just going to drive my beater for the rest of my life. Hey, if you do want a car and you're a car person, you can't get a car right now, what are you doing to change that down the road? Because if you can't get a car right now, that's okay. But you can do something or try to do something now to change your future. And a lot of people, they're just too comfortable. They're not willing to do anything. But I hate to say it, cars are never going to be free. You're not going to go get a brand new truck fully loaded with every bell and whistle or even the base one and get it for free because car dealerships are having a hard time selling cars. They'll close the business before they do that. So at the end of the day, regardless when, cars are always going to be expensive. They're never going to be free because I'm going to get, I don't think it's a good time. You don't have to buy a car right now, but I do think it's a good time because not too long ago, those brand new trucks, they were doing a markup of $5,000, $10,000 over MSRP. Now, because you can pass by a car dealership, you're going to see the inventory large. They're going to have a large selections of trucks and other cars, but this one's more about trucks. And they're discounting them $10,000. They're doing it if, not everyone's going to fall in this, but if you have good credit, they're even doing great promotions on rates, even though interest rates are all-time highs, which are starting to come down. And there's predictions that we're going to get a rate cut maybe in September, as soon as September, maybe even sooner, but most people are predicting September. Rates are coming down. And what car companies are doing to sell, they're saying, forget that. We're already doing it. Ford, not too long ago, to get rid of their 2023 inventories on their new trucks, on the F-150, they were doing a 1.9 up to 72 months, and they were still discounting it off MSRP. That's huge. That 1.9 is going to make that truck way more affordable if you're financing it than an 8% interest rate, right? And not too long ago, that's the biggest issue. You're buying these brand new trucks. They were not discounting them off MSRP. They were doing markups, and you're getting these high interest rates. Extremely difficult to get them. Now, all that's changing. They're doing better rates. If you got good credit, a lot of these brand new vehicles, you can get really low rates on them, up to 72 months, and they're discounting them heavily, and they're starting to take away. Some of these dealerships aren't even doing those protections anymore. Some still play that game, some don't. I would go to a dealership that doesn't even play that game. I don't want all these protections. Now, that's my opinion. Some of you may say, hey, I love the protection. I think the protection's worth it. But in my opinion, it's not, especially if you're someone that knows, hey, I'm going to get rid of the car within a few years. If you're going to get rid of it in a few years, the paint shouldn't fade. Nothing really should go wrong with the car. Now, that's my opinion. If you want to go get a car and you want to get the protections because you see it differently in me, that's okay. But they're doing big incentives on trucks, so I think it's not a bad time. And I think it'll probably even get a little bit better. But I don't think it's ever going to be free. Trucks are always going to be expensive. All cars are always going to be expensive. But the prices are coming down. Not MSRP, because some people say, oh, well, the MSRP. But they're discounting it below MSRP. So, for example, if a truck's 50 grand MSRP-wise, but they discounted 10 grand, they sell it to me at 40,000, right, plus taxes and stuff, I didn't pay 50 grand. I paid 40. So they're discounting them below MSRP. And if you're at a dealership and they're not doing that, go to a different one, because you should be able to find a dealership that can discount it for you. Now, if they're not discounting and you choose to buy it, that's on you. But I believe if you look, you should be able to do that. And the reason for that is I've done it. I go to dealerships on a regular basis. I see the discounts. I go on the websites. I bought a truck not too long ago. I know that they're discounting them. So you should be able to get that. And let's go ahead and show some proof here. So I do like Ford. I like them all, to be honest. It's not like I'm just a Ford guy. I will, I like Chevy, I like Ram. I don't have anything against any truck. So here we are. But I know some people, they're like, hey, I only drive Chevy, I only get a Ram, I only get a Ford, I only get a Toyota. And that's fine. Because no matter which one you're looking to get, there's deals out there. Now, the deals are going to vary. Some are more attractive than others. But right now, I'm going on the Ford website. And for me, always when I go on a website, they usually have a button that says specials, right? This one says specials and deals, but it says specials. It's a good idea if you're thinking about getting that Chevy truck or that Ford truck, or any, this can apply to any car, no matter what car you're thinking of getting. Go on the website, check out their specials. That's what I do. Here we are, specials. And then the great thing is, right, I'm going to see all their specials. So right here, we got 0% APR financing. Now, that you want to look into, because the 0 APR, sometimes it's just for 36 months. A lot of us are not going to get a car and pay it off in 36 months, especially a brand new one. Now, some of us may, and if you are, that could be a really great deal. But what I'm trying to say is you got to look at the small print, because sometimes these really low APRs are up to 72 months, and sometimes they're not. I believe on the 0% is for 36 months, and that's always changing. Next month, it could be up to 60 months. They're always playing with that. But there you can see, if you have approved credit and you're financing for a shorter term, you can get a 0% interest rate. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good to know. And then here we go. Here's the Ford F-150. So right now they're throwing in, which they weren't doing before, a 2-year free maintenance on their 2024. Looks like on their 2024, I don't know if that's on all their Ford F-150s or if they're just trying to push out the hybrids. But right there, 2-year maintenance. I bought a Ford F-150 and they were just doing your first 2 services for free at the time of purchase. So they weren't doing the 2 years. Now, I do know some car companies are doing the 2-year protection, the maintenance. So that's nice. Now Ford's doing it. And they're saying $10,000, right? So you can save $10,000 off the window sticker. And they're doing also a $1,000 trade assistance. Now, basically, you got to look at the fine print to fully understand, because you may be looking at it and it might not be exactly how you think. But the point is, they're doing incentives. They're saying they're doing 0 APR for shorter financing. They're doing up to $10,000, $1,000 in trade assistance. They're doing a 2-year free maintenance. Before, they weren't doing any of that. Before, you go during COVID time, they say, you want a Ford F-150? We don't have that many, $10,000 markup. Now, $10,000 off, we got a trade assistance, you got 0%, you got options. So there's deals out there. So that's something to show. Now, it doesn't make the truck free, and it doesn't make it, I'm not saying it's cheap. It's still going to be expensive. But if, for example, if the truck was 50, I could get it for 40. Before, not too long ago, you weren't able to get that deal. Also, if you want to get pre-owned, they're having a hard time moving pre-owned cars. The pre-owned cars are starting to get discounted, and they're starting to get better prices. So I see some good deals too on pre-owned vehicles. There's a video that I just made where I saw a Chevy Silverado High Country, $71,000 MSRP, and they were selling it at $52,000, and it only had 2,500 miles, basically new. Big difference, over $20,000 in savings right there. So there's deals out there, and it all depends on the vehicle. Look, now we get a little bit more details on the Ford Lightning. 0% APR for 66 months. There's a promotion there. On the Mavericks, oh my God, when they first came out, you couldn't touch them for the MSRP. They were so marked up. They were hard to find. Now they're doing the XLT, which is not the base model, and they're advertising at 29. I'm not saying that that's cheap, but I'm saying before, you were not able to find these deals. So definitely things are improving. And on the F-250s, on those Super Duty trucks, when they came out with the new design, they weren't even discounting them. Now they're at least doing 3,000 and up to 9,000, depending on the one you get. On the Mach-E, They're doing 0% up to 75 months. So there's deals, and this is just Ford. You can do this on any, you know, you might want a Toyota, you might want a lease on whatever it is that you want. Go on the website, check. There should be a special button. Now, some people are just going to a car dealership. They're looking at the window sticker and saying, oh my goodness, these cars are so expensive. Dealerships, the majority of times, are not showing their promotions up front. It's either on the website or you got to ask the salesperson. So don't think that you're just going to go to the car dealership and they're going to tell you right away, oh, we're going to discount it for you, and these are all our best deals. No, you got to do some research. And that's why I say it's important to go on the websites first, go on Auto Trader, look at new and used and compare. But the reason I'm saying there's deals is during COVID, not too long ago, okay, they were doing markups, big markups. They were doing no discounts. Now that COVID's gone away and things have gotten, you know, the economy's going down in a sense that we're not booming as we were. Inventory's growing at these dealerships. They're having a hard time selling, and that gives you power. That gives you an ability to get a discount. Before, you weren't going to, in COVID time, you weren't going to get $10,000 off a truck. Before COVID, yes, that was normal to get $10,000, $8,000 off a brand new truck, but that went away, and now it's coming back. And for those of you that got to get a car and you're worried, oh man, is it a good time? Interest rates are all-time high. I think, and this is my opinion, right? I think so. And the reason is this: you can go to dealerships and you're going to see the incentives. If you're at a dealership and you need to buy a car and you don't like the deal that they're giving you, leave. Go to another dealership. Because you're having a bad experience at one dealership doesn't mean that you can't get a good deal. Doesn't mean deals are not out there. So don't be afraid to shop around. And this is what's going to really help you get a better deal if you are in a situation where you need to get a car and you're buying a car. Even if you don't need to, but you want to buy a car and you were just waiting for prices to come down, they're coming down. Go to a car dealership. For example, I'm just going to use Ford. You can apply this to other brands. If I want a Ford, I'm not just going to go to I compare them. So if I know, oh, I want a Ford F-250 XLT Sport 4x4 6.7 white, right? I'm going to look for that truck. I'm going to find 3 dealerships that have that truck in stock, and I'm going to go there. I'm going to get apples to apples. I'm going to negotiate, see which one's willing to give me the best deal. I'm also going to go online. I'm going to go on Auto Trader, one of my favorite websites to go on, and I'm going to see within a 100-mile radius. Now, the radius you can pick. You can do further, you can do closer, but I'm going to do that's the radius I pick, and I'm going to see where can I find a truck in this radius I'm comfortable going, the best deal online. I'm going to go there. I'm going to negotiate. I'm going to go to another one. And I'm going to be upfront. Hey, I went to this dealership. If you can beat the deal, you may get my business. But I'm shopping around and I'm working numbers. And that's what I'm going to do to get the best deal possible. And that's really important because a lot of people ask me, how can I avoid being upside down? Well, one way is by making sure you're getting a good deal at time of purchase. And the way you're more likely to get a better deal is going to more than one car dealerships, shopping, looking at the specials, knowing where your credit is, and seeing based on your credit score what rates you can get. Because if you have good credit, there's a lot of deals right now with these car companies. Like for example, Ford, again, they're doing the 0. They were doing 1.9 on the 23s. If you had good credit, you just finance with Ford through Ford Motor Company, and you would get these rates. So. And a lot of other companies are doing it. Chevy, Toyota. So if you have good credit, you know you can get these better rates. You finance through them, and you should be getting discounts on the car. So hopefully, if you are thinking about buying that truck, getting that car, hopefully this video was helpful for you. Hopefully you learned something. Let me know your opinions in the comments. I know some of you are going to disagree with me, and that's okay. We don't all have to agree, but I like to read the comments. Also, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want, check out my links. I do Toro. I do some things. So if you want to check out my links, go ahead, feel free to. And if you're interested in if you like to see videos of ways that you can make money and prosper financially, if you want to see me make videos like that, I have no problem doing that. Shooting my experience and things that I do that have helped me out that maybe could help you out. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. By letting me know, I'll make videos like that if there's a demand for it. I really appreciate you watching, and see you on the next one.